Before we get started with the New Mutants review, which I'm sure you guys are here for, I just want to talk briefly about the news that we heard last night. If you haven't heard it, which I'm sure you have, Chadwick Boseman, best known for playing T'Challa, Black Panther in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, has tragically passed away last night. It was at the age of 43 due to colon cancer. He was actually diagnosed in 2016 and spread and got worse to stage 4. And he passed away with his family by his side. And I kind of want to just talk a little bit about like the impact that this man has had, probably even more than you think he has. He is the embodiment of someone who just possesses courage and bravery. And not only that, he is an absolute legend and an icon for what he was able to do for his community, what he was able to do in terms of representation, and all of that. And let's not forget that this man played other roles that weren't just T'Challa. He played Jackie Robinson a couple years ago in 42. And if everyone knows who Jackie Robinson is, that's a very inspirational role. Someone that empowers certain people. And the same thing goes with Black Panther. T'Challa, the fact that they're able to bring this character to life on the big screen and to see people, young people of color growing up, seeing this and thinking, I can be like this, and that it's normal to see this on the big screen when there's not a ton of representation when it comes in superhero movies, and just to be that superhero, especially going through stage 3 cancer and filming 6 movies through it, bulking up for roles, losing weight for roles, and vice versa, and going, and meanwhile having a smile on his face the whole time. He looked like a person who brightened a room when he walked in, was just full of wisdom, and seeing all the things online, all the stories from his friends, it's heartbreaking but heartwarming to know that he has left such an impact on people's lives already. And it's a shame that we won't be able to see Chadwick Boseman anymore. It is a tragedy that we won't be able to see Chadwick Boseman anymore. But in the certain years that he has had to make such an impact on myself, on countless other people of color, is tremendous. And we will surely miss him, and it is a tragic loss, but we can't forget that he is someone who will leave a legacy forever. And for that, I am eternally grateful for that, and my thoughts and prayers are out to the family of Chadwick Boseman, and I hope he rests in power. What's going on, guys? My name is Jake, and welcome back to Gax Reviews. If you're seeing the title of the film, you're not reading it wrong. The New Mutants has finally come out, and I saw it today, and I'm going to give you my thoughts on it. Before I get started, I want you guys in that comment section below. Have you seen the New Mutants? Are you looking forward to seeing the New Mutants? And what's your favorite X-Men film? Let's get talking. So, the New Mutants. The film follows a group of young mutants who are held in a secret facility and have to fight in order to save themselves. So yeah, this thing has become kind of a little bit of a meme recently and has just been doomed from the very start. It was filmed around 2016, 2017, and director Josh Boone, the poor guy, his soul, it's been delayed 5 times since then. Whether it was reshoots, whether it was Disney pushing it because they didn't believe in the film, to a pandemic, this film has survived it all. And it became kind of a joke, like, we're never going to see this movie. It's just going to keep getting delayed. And then it didn't get delayed. And then everyone's like, wait, what? And it actually came out. Now, is this thing an unwanted piece of crap, like a lot of people were saying it's going to be? No, I don't think so. Is it the worst film in the X-Men franchise? No, I don't think so. But is it strange that this is coming out when the franchise is already dead? Yeah, a little bit. And I think that's one of my main complaints with this film, is that it feels kind of like a relic of the past. X-Men, as we know, as being acquired by Disney, is dead now. Like, this just feels strange coming out, especially since they do some links towards Logan and other types of things. And it's kind of strange that they do that. But it makes sense at the time. It's just weird that we're seeing it now because we know that this isn't going to go anywhere. Other than that, how does this hold as just a sing-alone? Does this stand out on its own? And I'd say yeah. Like, the New Mutants is not as bad as everyone is saying. I think it's perfectly enjoyable. And a lot of that comes down to the main cast. We got these 5 mutants, these new mutants, and I think it's really interesting to take that that YA type of thing and put a horror spin to that. And the horror elements, well, I don't think that they were fully mind-blowing, anything that we haven't seen before, and they're not the most scary things in the world. I applauded Josh Boone's attempt to put that, and there was some decent imagery in there. There were some moments that I was like, that's kind of slightly terrifying, but not a lot of things that made me go like, and I went with my girlfriend who hates horror, and she was nervous and came out, and I was like, yeah, that's not scary at all. But I appreciated its attempt. I just wish it went a bit further. But coming down to these mutants again, I think that the chemistry between the five are really solid, even if we don't know a ton about them, and that's another issue I have, is we don't know too much about them. The main character, Blue Hunt, I don't think she's the best actress in the world, but I enjoyed her chemistry with Maisie Williams. I do think that Anna Taylor-Joy by far was the best part about this movie, though. She was just chewing up the scenery in this thing. It's very evident that they wanted to give her as much as they can because they knew she could carry it, and she does that. She's really good in this, and I really liked her character. I liked watching all the new powers. It was pretty interesting to see that. But it just feels like a relic of the past. And you look at the cast too: Maisie Williams, Game of Thrones; Charlie Heaton, Stranger Things. All of these things are something that would be, at the height of 2017, would probably do some tremendous box office. Now, not so much, obviously because of the pandemic, but it just feels like a relic. And that's kind of strange. Outside of that, the dialogue's not the best thing I've ever seen in the world. There's a couple times where you knew exactly what they're going to say, and I was like, because it was so cringy, and there's a couple times that it just feels very formulaic, and that's what this film ultimately comes down to, is this something that did push the envelope as a standalone X-Men movie? Not really. It's just a disposable film that it puts some very interesting stuff in it, but you know where this is going. You know where this is going to finish. Everything in between, but from the relationships and all that, it's predictable. And while that sucks, I do think that this is still a decent movie to watch. Just throw away to watch. Is this worth risking your life in the middle of a pandemic to go see? No, I don't think so. But if you're sitting on a lazy Saturday, trying to look for something to watch, there's hardly anything that you could watch that's not going to waste your time. Like, The New Mutants is not going to waste your time. Boone said this was his vision, and if it was, he must be proud of this thing because it's still pretty decent. And with that, I'm going to give The New Mutants a 3. I could give this a lot worse, but it's not that bad, guys. I don't understand why everyone is completely hating on this thing. It's really not that bad. There's some good performances in there. There's some not good performances. I just wish we knew a bit more about these characters. I wish that it pushed the envelope just a little bit more with that horror and with pushing out that cliche. But this franchise is already dead as it is. It's ultimately a meaningless film, but it's enjoyable in spurts. And I think if you're a fan of the X-Men, if you're wanting to see something else with it, you'll have fun with some moments in here. And that about wraps up for this video. I got one more review coming for you guys this weekend, so look out for that. I'm pretty sure you know what it is. And that about wraps up for this video. If you guys did enjoy, if you could hit that like button as well, subscribe if you haven't already. My Q&A is coming next week. Thank you guys so much for subscribing, and I will see you guys in the next one.